people. How are you today? Jan of Jan Hicks Creates here, coming back at you with Flosstube number 115. I remembered this time. I only remembered because I looked at my notes and I'm keeping track in my notes, which I didn't used to do because numbers. How are you? Are you hanging in there? Did you have a good week? You guys in Louisiana, I see there's another hurricane coming for you. Stay safe. Crazy, crazy times. Mike and I are doing well. Let's see, what day is it? It is October 9th. October 9th. Crazy. 11:56 a.m. I'm a little late because I had a hair appointment this morning and I wanted to wait and do my video until after my hair was done. I'm not sure it looks any better, but it's at least shorter. So that's a good thing. Let's see, lots of things to talk to you about today, lots to show you. Goodies, oh my goodness, the goodies I got this week. And the generosity of people. Oh my goodness, wait till you see. Plans for the holidays that I'm gonna talk to you about. And knitting. Yay, I have some knitting to show you. So, where do we start? Where do we start? I did want to let you know, I think this information came in the afternoon of last week's video. I did post it on my Facebook group, but I haven't shared it here. We did get word that our household goods have made it to Texas. So, much earlier than we were expecting. I really wasn't expecting to get here until the beginning of November. However, we won't be able to get them delivered until October 20th. So we still have a ways to go before, actually only like 10 days to go, because time, like, you know, even when you aren't doing anything, time flies. Not that I'm not doing anything by the looks of the piles surrounding me, but you know what I mean. So yeah, October 20th was when they will get delivered to a storage unit, and then we'll start slowly going through the boxes and figuring out what's going to live with us here and what is going to stay in storage. So that was exciting news. And that's about all the news I have. Except, well, no, I'll share that later. Okay, so I do have a lot of stitching to show you. Well, maybe not a lot. I do have some stitching to show you. Let's see, where shall we start? First of all, I did want to thank once again, thank you to all my Buy Me a Coffee supporters. It means the world to me, especially since I don't know whether YouTube is doing something with how they serve up the ads, which is, you know, how we get any revenue that we do get from these videos. It's never very much, but it's like, so I went up 404 subscribers this month, which is just like blowing my mind. I'm attributing it all to Kimberly Jolly and her mentions of me, which I truly appreciate. But the ad revenue has like tanked. So I do appreciate it when you pitch in a little bit with the Buy Me a Coffee thing. It really helps, especially when I went to the post office to mail the stuff that I had to mail. I actually haven't gotten the stuff to Canada in the mail yet because I went to UPS just for the regular mail service, but their price that they were quoting me of mailing stuff to Canada, and even these little packages that I'm mailing, was just outrageous. In fact, I kind of looked shocked enough that the woman helping me kind of leaned over and whispered, I would take these just to the post office. So I still need to do that, but hopefully in the next couple days. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate your support. It means the world to me. Okay. My title says that there's more frogging, more ripping that I have to do, and I will be showing you that. I hope you enjoyed the videos that I shared at the beginning. Those were all from my local store here. Stitches from the Heart is the name of it, and it is a full service cross stitch store. They have everything I need. A wonderful store, a good size. The owner was just lovely. I had a wonderful time there yesterday, and I do have some things to show you from there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed a little look at, it was hard to get the video of the models that were up high on the wall because of course I'm short. I can only show you so much, but I hope you got a good look at what I could show you. So, all right, first and foremost, pumpkins for sale. I started this on October 1st. So this is the one that I'm using, the Not So Even Weave fabric from Fibers on a Whim. And this is what I got done. Now, these, that's a better, truer color. These pumpkins are actually more stitching than you realize. Makes me glad I've taken out the scarecrow. But anyways, I want to show you this up close so you can see the variegation. I am using, it's actually a limited edition. There is not a color name on this. It's a Gentle Arts limited edition. I don't know whether you can see, it has the variegation of the cream to the pale aqua, kind of misty green color. And it is working out perfectly in this. I am thrilled with how this is turning out. So I actually didn't pick this up at all yesterday, so hopefully I will have time today to get some stitches in on that. That is really my only fall stitch for Stitchtober, Fat Quarter Shop sponsored. I am not using any of the called for, you know, I had asked for, you know, they asked me if the Fat Quarter Shop, they asked me when they sent the pattern if I wanted to use DMC or the Weeks Dye Works, and of course I requested the Weeks Dye Works, but they were sold out of that by that time. So yeah, I'm using my own stuff. Speaking of Fat Quarter Shop, this is the Prim Stitch series, so I have number 3 there done. Isn't that adorable? Have the border almost done around it. Again, I didn't pick this up at all yesterday either. So today I hope to get the border done or mostly done. We have gotten the pattern for number 4. Let me find that for you. These are all just so cute. So that is number 4. I will probably be starting that this weekend. And I'm only working an hour a day on these at the most. But an hour a day, if I can get to it every day, which I don't usually, is plenty of time to get this done in a month. I am using the called for Aurifil floss from Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the called for fabric, only I am doing it over 1 with 1 strand of floss instead of over 2. And I am loving how sweet and petite this looks over 1. Go back to my notes. I also worked, and this is probably where I spent the majority of my time, on my Filigree and Rose with Toxic Floss by Mrs. Sadas. And I am loving how this turns out. This is my design, Filigree and Rose. I probably have another couple of evenings stitching and this one will be done. So that's why I was working a lot on this, so I could get this done. The fabric is 40 count bleached linen by Vicky Clayton. Love that, love that, love that. I don't know when I'm gonna get any of these framed. I did ask about that at, they have a wonderful framing area at Stitches from the Heart. They have a ton of frames to choose from, but I'm probably going to wait till after the new year to get anything framed. They're in their Christmas crunch. They said that I think one person brought in like 15 things to be framed, as well as, you know, other people bringing stuff in, so their framing department is absolutely overwhelmed right now. So I'm gonna hold off before I take anything in until probably the new year. The other thing I spent a chunk of time on was the Margaret Howden sampler by the Exemplary. So you remember I was working on the words up here. I changed out the color of the ghost words for a little bit darker. And then this past week I started down here. I got some more words done. And then I started down here to start working on this floral band, just for something different from the words. Well, whoops, it turns out I have to take it all out. So all of this in here. It's cute, isn't it? I love the leaf. I don't know whether you're getting a real true picture. This is all DMC floss. I have to thank Rose Heck for this. Rose is doing this along with me. And we've been chatting off and on Messenger about it. Needs to be puffier. And it turns out that I didn't read the instructions right. All of this I did with 2 strands. It needs to be done with 1 strand. And you know, as I was doing it, I was thinking, boy, I'm really having to fight to get the needle through the holes. Now I did change my needle from what she sent me, because what she sent was very thin and pointy. And she actually says in her write-up that, in her instructions, that the needles that she sent are good for when you're working with silk. They're a smaller eye and a smaller needle to keep the silk from slipping out of the eye of the needle. We're not working with silk. So I did go up a bit. Oh, pause. So yeah, I went to a little bit bigger of a needle, and I know that's part of the problem, but the main problem is that this is 35 count fabric, and it is a little bit too tight to use 2 strands of floss. And of course the other issue is, because this is kit, if I had not been told by Rose, thank you Rose, I would have run out of floss. Most likely. I mean, I don't know how much extra people put in their kits, but I haven't even gotten the Star Center quilt out of timeout, because there's what I have to rip out of that, and now I have this other big one that I have to rip out. I am obviously not having much luck with these big ones for some reason. So this one will now go into timeout, and I'll get the Star Center quilt back out and take care of that. Who left the frog here? You can take it back. All right, so that is my stitching for the week, and it really doesn't seem like that much. I did do a design that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, a new design that's for a special thing, and I did work on my little black swatches. That isn't getting much attention, and my 3D design isn't getting too much attention either. There's only so many hours in a day. It'll get done eventually. But what I did start doesn't look like much yet, does it? This is the Kentia Wrap, or Kentia, or something like that, by Amba O'Brien. You can kind of start to see these triangles. Now this particular combo of yarn isn't going to show the triangles as much as later. And let me show you what I mean. So you'll remember this is the wrap, and what you have here, so you have one main color. My main color is this. It is Farmhouse White on Tosh Sock by Madeline Tosh, and my contrasting colors are by Koigu. They are the Koigu pencil box set, and so this is mine. And so what you do with this is the pale sections in between are made with something called a slip stitch, and you use the paler colors in that, and then The darker stripes, the zigzags, are mosaic, and you use a combination of the main color, which is the light color, and then one of the darker colors. So I split my pencil box into the lighter colors and the darker colors. But you'll see this was over here. You'll see a couple of these darker colors aren't as dark as the other ones. So you're not going to see that mosaic zigzag as well. But that is what is building here as I'm starting the points of the zigzag. So, like I said, you can kind of see it a little bit. And it'll become more obvious as the piece grows, but it feels so good to be knitting again. This is like 18 rows in, I think. I only work on this an hour or so in the morning. This is fingering weight yarn, size 5 needle. I did not do a gauge swatch. And while it's not important for size in a wrap like this, it is important for yarn usage. So let's hope I don't run out of yarn, because that could be a problem. Okay, let us talk about tips and tricks real quick. My first one is, again, courtesy of Kimberly Jolly. A couple videos of her videos ago, she had a question about, somebody asked what the difference is between Edinburgh and Cashel and Belfast linens. And Kimberly does not work with linen that much, so she really wasn't familiar with the terms, and she mentioned several of us that probably would have the answer, and I don't know whether any of the other ones that she mentioned did answer it, but I wanted to make sure and cover it here. So when you hear 28 count Cashel, 32 count Belfast, 36 count Edinburgh, and I think it's 40 Normandy, is that right? I don't know what 46 is called in Zweigart. Those are all the names that the company Zweigart has given to that count of linen. So when I hear Edinburgh, I know it's 36 count. When I hear Belfast, I know it's 32 count. So even if you're looking at, like, Picture This Plus or anybody that uses Zweigart as their base when they're dyeing it, if they say Edinburgh, it's because that is the name associated with that count of fabric. That's all it means. And then there's the color name on top of that. So you may see in a shop someplace that it's Edinburgh linen, you know it's 36 count. So I hope that helps. That's an easy one. The other question I had gotten a few weeks ago that I wanted to talk about. When working on multiple projects that use the same floss color, do you keep multiple skeins for the different, or do you have multiple skeins for the different projects, or do you keep all your floss together? And if you have multiple skeins, or you separate out your floss, how do you keep track of what is where? I know a lot of people get new skeins for each project. I don't do that. I don't want to have that kind of investment, especially since mostly what I use is the specialty flosses. I'm not going to put that kind of investment into those flosses for every new project, and especially because I do have such a stash of the floss here. But the same is true for DMC. The system that works for me is that I keep my master set together. And so anytime I'm starting a new project, I will pull, I have the thread organizers. So this is my thread for both Beachcomber, the Shining Star, or Shooting Star, designed by Carolyn Manning, Beachcomber, and, no, this is just Beachcomber, a little bit of Shooting Star here, but this is all Beachcomber. So I pull a number of strands for each color and put it on the thread organizer. I have the thick painter's tape, I put that on here, and I write the color number and the symbol. So basically I don't have to look at the key in the chart at all. I can just go here and find the symbol. Now Carolyn Manning's things happen to be in Pattern Keeper, so that's easy to look at the key anyway. But for the most part, I can just look here. So whether it's my DMC floss or my over-dyed flosses, I will do it this way. Pull out a number of skeins, I'll cut, not skeins, lengths, I'll cut off a number of lengths. And I will kind of look and see if I can get an idea of how much of a color is used in a pattern to see how many lengths I need to cut. But if I run out, I just go back to my master set and pull out more. And that way, because I do have so many whips going, if I tried to have a new skein in each project, that would just be mind-blowing and way too expensive. Now, if you're only doing 1 or 2 projects at a time, then you don't have to worry about it, right? It's not as much. How I keep track. Before I did it this way, I would keep track in the X-Stitch app. Usually, and again, especially for my fancy flosses, I will go, I have everything inventoried in X-Stitch, in the X-Stitch app. So then I would go to that color, say General Arts Slate, and note in the notes for that color where that thread lived. And if I happen to actually have a couple skeins of it that were in a couple different projects, because that I did used to do that somewhat, then I would note all of the projects that it was used in. And that way, if I was starting a new one, then I could go to one of those and say, well, this one doesn't need that much floss. I can pull some from that. I hope that makes sense. But now I'm not doing that. I am keeping my master sets together and putting what I need on these thread organizers. These I do just get on Amazon. They're probably from China. They're just cheap plastic things. I will link those below so you can check them out if you want to. It's like a pack of 12 for, I don't know, $10 or something. All right, that's my tips and tricks for today. Many of you did want to know, did want a tutorial on the colonial knot, so I will be doing that in an upcoming video as well. Speaking of Fat Quarter Shop, as I was a couple minutes ago, I'm going to be meeting Kimberly Jolly. Now, I know she did mention that, I think, on her video yesterday, or not yesterday, Wednesday. She will be coming down here to San Antonio, I believe, for a dance competition with her daughter, and we're going to be meeting up at the cross stitch store. Can't wait. How exciting is that? That's awesome. So excited. Okay, I want to show you the new design I have done and talk about what that is and what I'm doing with that, and then it'll be time for stuff that I got. Let me find my pictures in here. So, I was talking to my friend Susan Post, who is the owner of the store, the yarn store I worked at in Sarasota, A Good Yarn. And it turns out that she is carrying the full line of Cosmo floss. Now, she isn't a cross-stitch store. She is very much a yarn store, knitting, weaving, spinning, everything fiber related. I think she also loves embroidery. She loves Sue Spargo. And I believe she started carrying Cosmo. I don't know whether that's the floss that Sue Spargo uses, but probably to kind of engender that line. I don't know if she has any. I think she does have some embroidery kits in the store. But anyway, she does carry the full line of Cosmo. So we got to talking, and I said, you know, I explained that we had had a conversation a video or two ago about Cosmo, how Jean Farish loves Cosmo, and you know, it's not something that we see used a lot in the cross-stitch world, but several of you did ask about it, and I thought, you know, maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe she offered to send me some to try out to see what I thought. And I said, you know, maybe what I'll do is create a design with what she sends me and have her offer the floss pack to go with it. So that's what we're doing. I came up with a colorway, I sent her the numbers, she is sending me the floss, and I designed this. So hopefully the floss will be here in a couple days and I will work on this. I think the stitch count of this is like somewhere around 80 by 90, 80 by 100, something like that. So not huge. Just something a little fun with some rich colors. I totally picked the colors from on screen. And you know how that goes with computer monitors and such, so we shall see how that turns out. I hope that's something you'll be interested in. I am only going to put the Cosmo colors on this. So I don't know whether I'm going to be selling it through her shop or through mine, but you'll have to go to her shop to get the Cosmo floss. But anyways, it's just 6 colors, but it might be a neat way to try it out and see what you think. I'm interested in seeing what I think. So that'll be fun. All right, goodies. I have to rearrange and bring stuff over. Okay, I have so many amazing things to show you. It's almost like, where do I start? I think I'll start in the order of when I got them. Yeah, that makes sense. So the day after my video last week was an incredible mail day. I posted a picture on my Facebook group, so you guys have seen this already, but I got my yarn, my main color yarn for my stitching piece. So this is the Madtosh Farmhouse White. I got this from a online store in Georgia named Eat Sleep Knit. They are also a brick and mortar store, I'm pretty sure. I've never been to their brick and mortar store, but I bought a lot of yarn from them in the past. In fact, I bought so much, I haven't bought anything from them in, of course, a couple years since we were in Hawaii, but also a couple years before that. I had a $36 credit at their store that I was unaware of. So I basically got one of the skeins for free and the shipping for free. So awesome. I got the other yarn for the project, by the way, from Webb's up in Massachusetts, New Hampshire. One of those. Huge yarn store, well known in the knitting world. They are the only ones that I could find that carried, well, Jimmy Bean's Wool carries them, but they didn't have any colorways that I liked. Not very many people carry the Koigu pencil box set. So anyways, that came in the mail. I got my order of, let's take these out, of Vickis Silks. I got my order of silks from Thread Pickers in the UK, and I got the new release products from Fat Quarter Shop. So needle minder, thread bobbins, and check this out. This tote bag. Amazing, amazing. Now, these will be a giveaway this week. I am keeping the needle minder. Oh, it's heavy. And then more on this later, because that will also be a giveaway. So, Vickis Silks, excuse me. They are gorgeous. Now, I know that she does not ship to Pennsylvania because of some tax issues she's having. She does live in Pennsylvania, and she's not shipping to Canada yet. But, and again, I will link below, McKenna 1884 Stitchery is an exclusive retailer for Vicky, for her silks outside of Vicky's shop. So she doesn't carry all the colors, of course, but she does carry a nice selection. So if you're looking to try Vickis Silks, McKenna, and you live in Pennsylvania or Canada, McKenna will be a good option. So interesting thing about Vickis Silks, she does, they are single strand. They are, I believe, filament silks. She does offer them as 6-stranded, but what she does is takes the single strands and winds them together to be 6 strands on a spool. And the reason she does this is for those of you that want to stitch with 2 strands, you can then have them together and pull the single strands out and the colors will match. So I think that's brilliant. And then she also sells them as single strands on her spools. So if you tend to stitch on the higher counts and only use a single strand of silk, then you can just unwind this and go. I mean, you don't have to worry about separating. So I think that's brilliant. It ends up being the same amount of yardage on each of them. This is 25 yards of 6 strands, and this is 150 yards of single strands, which works out to be the same amount. So I don't have my glasses on, so excuse the squinting. Believed. Let me do the separate ones first. Exemplar Seafoam. So this is Believed. This is Exemplar Seafoam. Dragon Toes. Look how pretty that is. Velvet Masquerade. And it really does look like velvet. That color. So pretty. Let's see. I'm going to do all of these. This one. And then I have these ones in bags because I've started to use them. Let's see. Exemplar Crushed Berry. How pretty that is. Okay, and these other ones are all her Primitive Barn series. She does a lot of series of things, and I think these are all called Primitive Barn because I think they have a wash of brown, of some sort of brown over them. So this is Primitive Barn Red. This is Primitive Barn Blue. I don't know whether you can see that too well. I'm not going to take it out because it's a pain to get back in. These are my thread tucks bags that I like so much. This is Primitive Barn Bunny. Primitive Barn Purple. Primitive Barn Mauve. And Primitive Barn, or no, this is Exemplar Spinach Delight, so, sorry. So, they are gorgeous to work with. I'm loving them. And then I got the, I got a bunch of the thread pickers. And again, I'm using some of them. Enfield, which is a variegated brown with some black in it. Golden Syrup. Gray versus gray. So a couple different colors of gray in there. Seafoam. Anything that says seafoam I have to have. Hedgehog. Pretty. Reptile. Kelpie. I love this one. I don't know whether the color is going to come through. It's like a teal and a navy blue with some black wash on it. It is gorgeous. Tiger's Eye. Dirty Blonde. And Silver. Now I got most of these with my mind on my Baroque sampler. And I got kind of a variety of golds and greens because I wasn't sure which ones would work. What I just showed you now are what I have chosen to use in my Baroque sampler, and I'll be talking more about that in a second. So Tawny and Buttermilk. Cold Steel. Hyacinth 2, Sapphire. Look how pretty that is. Japanese maple leaf. Oh, this is gorgeous. I used to have a dwarf Japanese maple growing in my front flower bed at our home in Maryland. I loved that. It was such a beautiful tree. Unknown jungle and burgundy. So pretty. All right, let me shove these ones back in the bag. All right, so that was my mail from last Wednesday, I think. Goodies from the cross stitch store. Let me tell you, I'm saving the best for last, so hang in there, and I still have to do the giveaway yet too, so we have some more stuff to cover. Okay, so first, the charts I got. This was a 50% off. I've been eyeing this by Shannon Christine for a while, Happy Camper. And I mean, how appropriate is that? I love Shannon Christine's designs. I think her color usage and her shading just really make a stunning piece. So, Happy Camper. After the Roses by Ink Circle. And of course, everybody is doing this because it is absolutely gorgeous. And I know I am not one to do samplers, but let me tell you, models in a shop sell things. They had this is the Smith sampler by the Scarlet House. They had this done on a 46 count. I think she said it was vintage autumn gold, something like that, by Lakeside Linens. It was stunning. Just gorgeous. And of course, models always do more justice to something than the pictures on the cover, right? I would never have looked at this a second time if it weren't for that model. So yeah, this came home with me, and I'm going to do it on one of those darker type fabrics. And Rose and I, when we were talking yesterday about my fiasco with Margaret Howden, said she has had this for a couple years, kitted and ready to go. So this is going to be a New Year's start for us. I would love to have you join us if you have this, if you've been interested in it, if you want to get it. Scarlet House Smith sampler. You have some time to get the stuff together. It does call for silks, Velsois, Dinky Dyes, and Gloriana. I don't have them yet. I will be getting them. Or I may be using Mrs. Sadis. I am not sure yet. But I will be getting that dark schmaltzy golden, you know, it really does remind me of what I used for Shades of Gold. Just that really rich color, and it was just stunning. So that will be started in the new year. Now I also got some fabric, and I will show you this one first. 56 count. Now I've been talking about getting some 56 count for a couple weeks to practice with that RFL floss on. So I got a piece of that. This is Weeks Dye Works parchment. But I also got it because she also had a model in the store of this. And it was done, it was actually done on a 40 count, but you know how much I love the small things. Again, it was stunning. So I thought, heck, go small or go home. I'm gonna do it on this 56 count parchment. And there's also, I only need like a 9x9 piece of this for this. But there's also enough of this, because it's a whole long piece, to do just some playing with the RFL flosses. Now, another thing I want to say about this shop, and not all shops do this, so I am absolutely thrilled. Stitches from the Heart serges the edges. So both of the pieces of fabric I got, they serged the edge for me. How awesome is that? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's going with that. The other thing I got, I needed some 46 count. So I have shown you guys, let me find the picture. I have shown you guys in the past the Baroque sampler. It is something that I've started a couple times and haven't been happy with the fabric. I'm not seeing the picture here. Hold on. I cannot zoom in on this, unfortunately. It's a little bit bigger of the upper part. Not gonna work. The Baroque sampler by Historische Stickmuster in Germany. I know it's really hard to see. I'm starting up here. This is a little, whoops, that's not good. This is a little fruit basket up in the top left corner. So I've started this several times and I haven't been happy with the fabric. The last time I started was with Victoria Clayton's 40 count. So this is my start on that. I actually started in the bottom right on this one. And the problem that I found is, and this is with Vickis Clayton's silks. The problem that I found is that, you know, this is a much more open weave than a lot of 40 counts. And I think that Vickis Silks might be just that tiniest bit thinner than a lot of silks. And so there was just, the coverage was bad. I don't know how much of that you can see. I was not happy at all with the coverage. So I decided, you know, this is a huge piece. It's 300 by 659. There was no way I was going to do the whole piece on something I was that unhappy with. So I decided 46 count would be the bomb. So I went up to, that's the main reason why I wanted to go up to the cross stitch store. They had several different choices in 46 and 56. And this is what I came home with. 46 count straw by Weeks Dye Works. And isn't that gorgeous? I think the Smith sampler would be gorgeous on this as well, if she still has some of it. So this is my start of my little fruit basket. And back here is the real color of the floss and fabric. So it's blowing out as I come up close. But isn't that gorgeous? So this is a mixture. The green is actually a Mrs. Sadis silk. That's number 50. And then the other ones are a mixture of the Thread Pickers and Vickis Clayton. This is perfect. I mean, it's just what I wanted. So that was awesome to stitch last night, and will be awesome to stitch on tonight as well. Loving it, loving it. So that is those goodies. Now, the last but not least, blew my mind. So I talked to you about the Etsy shop Deborah Harry's, and again on my Facebook group I posted a picture of a bag that she had last week that I immediately, his hair's all flat now, that I immediately bought. It's just perfect, even for someone that doesn't like samplers. And by the way, so many of you went to a shop and got stuff and liked it, and she was really, really appreciative, which you'll see here in a second. So one of the cool things about Deb, is she also rescues and recycles old vintage patterns. So your package comes wrapped in the patterns, the paper from the patterns. How cool is that? I will not be getting rid of that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably wrap up your goodies in it. But how cool is that? A very cool thank you card note written on the back of a copy of one of the pattern fronts. I'm trying to keep this on my lap because I have so much to show you in here. Actually, no, I put it all inside. So what I got, she found this at a flea market on the ground, in a frame, I'm sure. She was worried, I guess there was some staining on it. She was worried that that wouldn't come out, but it did. And she made it into this tote bag. Just plain fabric on the back. Nice sturdy canvas fabric. Sweet little lining inside. And all kinds of pockets. Pockets the whole way around. How awesome is that? Now this is, for those of you that might have watched my interview with Sue Morelli, I think she said this was her first piece of cross stitch. It was a stamped cross stitch. So how about that? Now, Deb was incredibly generous and sent some other goodies along as well. So she sent this little project bag, notions bag, with that on it. It is, whoops, I had it open already. It is lined, I don't know what the stuff is, what it's called, but it's like a vinyl. So this would be good for like a toiletry bag or a makeup bag. She sent a second one. I love that. And again, this is lined with the same kind of vinyl-y stuff. I'm actually gonna keep this one for myself. I don't use a lot of makeup, but it will look very, very nice and at home in this little bag. And she sent this. Now the awesome thing, so stenciled, right? Wonderful seasonal fabric. A nice plaid inside. And again, pockets on one side. But the great thing about this, look at that, the way it opens on the bottom. Look how big that is. What an awesome, this would basically as a knitting project bag, but you could use it for anything, right? So here's the deal. Been thinking and thinking and thinking about a special way I can do. Look at that handle. Look how pretty that is. Just gorgeous hardware, gorgeous finishing. Everything about this is just impeccable. I wanted to do something special for this, for the other little toiletry bag, and for the Fat Quarter Shop Bonnie and Camille as well as other goodies that I hope to get. What I've decided to do is, come December, I'm going to do a holiday extravaganza. I don't know how many days yet, at least 7. I'm hoping I'm going to reach out to some of the other people that I've worked with, the other shops, the other dyers, and get some gifts. And I'm going to do a video a day, like I said, at least a week, with giveaways. And I want this to be not only a celebration of the holiday season, but also a celebration of, thank God this year is almost over. Thank heavens we made it. A little gift for you guys for sticking with me and supporting me, and just an acknowledgement of, you know, this has been a rough year. We all need a little care and giving at this point in time. So that's my plans. I am going to do a video every day where I will announce the winner from the previous day and show the new, the next gift to be given. I will be announcing and showing each one of the gifts on my various social media outlets, so my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and Instagram. Everybody will be invited to the YouTube channel to watch it and comment, and hopefully like and subscribe as well. So, I hope you'll like that. I think I hope I get some neat goodies besides what I already have here in front of me, which is just mind blown. Deb, thank you for your generosity. I mean, you didn't have to do that, and it just blows me away. So I like I said, mind blown. And I'm so happy that the people liked your stuff, and hopefully, I know at least one person said that they did some early Christmas shopping. Of course, not so early. We're coming up on Columbus Day. Columbus Day is a federal holiday. Mike does have a 3-day weekend. Yay! Here in the United States. And Columbus Day was always a day where the boys didn't get off. So that was the day we would go and do their Christmas shopping. That's what Columbus Day means to me. Won't be doing that this year. But anyways, so yeah, where are we? Giveaways. So the winner, let me go back to my notes to make sure I get this right. The winner of Blue Clematis. First of all, let me say, I loved hearing all of your stories about whether you grow clematis, whether your grandmother or your mother did, where it is, how it's doing. I had a trellis at our Maryland home again, over our sidewalk coming up to our front porch out by the mailbox that I had clematis growing over. And you know, I don't remember what color it is, or it was. I think it was a dark blue, maybe a dark purple. I don't remember, but I love clematis. I love all the variations of it. So anyways, the Clematis Bouquet for July chart goes to Nancy Gatz. G-A-T-Z. Where did it go? There it is, Nancy Gatz, G-A-T-Z. So Nancy, I will comment on your comment for you to email me your mailing address, and I will get this in the mail to you. All right, this week's giveaways. First, like I said, the bobbins from Fat Quarter Shop, and there's quite a number in there. Let me see if it says how many. I don't see anywhere where it says how many are in here. Probably at least 25 or 30. So, floss bobbins. That's called floss biddies. If you would like to be entered into the drawing for these, please say, I could use some floss biddies. I could use some floss biddies in my life. You know I won't be using any floss biddies. So, comment below. Again, must be 18, don't say giveaway, don't say winner, all that stuff, even though I usually say winner chosen or something on my title once it's done. Yeah. Next, Cozy into Winter by Jeanette Douglas. This is the one I finished. This is the one that I had as a kit. You will not get any of that. You just get the chart because I've used everything in it. These are great pieces. Now, in case you didn't know, she has done a series of these for all the different seasons. The autumn one, I believe, is just coming out or has come out. And there are other ones that, you know, I have to get them all. This was a quick stitch. It was a fun stitch. What made it extra fun was these rows of specialty stitches down here. So it gives you a chance to practice the specialty stitches without feeling overwhelmed by them. It's a fairly easy row to do. One of the other things I absolutely love about this is the border, where she has just little bits and pieces of it filled in. I think that's awesome. It's a great touch. So anyways, if you would like this, say, I'm ready for winter. I hope you are. I hope you're ready for anything. Yeah, so I think that's all for today. If not, it should be, because I'm about at an hour. So, it's time for our angel card. Again, Teresa Kogut's Angel's Kindness cards. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of your behavior, attitudes, and habits in your life. Awareness is enlightening. And your behavior and your thoughts and your attitude is what determines pretty much what your life looks like. You can either be a negative Nelly or a positive Polly. Patsy. Penny. You get back what you send out. So be aware of it. I'm getting hot back here. I am a positive person, and I am sending out into the world all the love and all the hugs and all the happiness and joy that you can find during these difficult times. For those of you that are hurting, know that I'm lifting you up. I hope you find some smiles and some laughter. I am always thrilled when I hear you say that I make you laugh, because laughter is a huge part of my life, and I am more than happy to spread that around. So I hope you guys have a great week. I was thinking about going to every 2 weeks for these. I still don't know. I keep going back and forth. So if you see me next week, I decided to keep it to every week. If you don't see me, I decided to do every 2 weeks. I'm going to keep you guessing. Anyways, I will talk to you soon. I love you. You take care.